Hello everyone, it's Leo, and in this video I am going to share my thoughts on the first episode of Assault Lily Bouquet. I don't know if I'm going to do a video series on every single episode of this season. I might do one for the first and then I might do one at the end of the season, but I liked this first episode so much and I was expecting so little that I decided to do a video review of this first episode, which was very, very nice. Let's start talking about this impressive show. That was very interesting, raised lots of questions, and it showed a ton of characters. But I just have to start talking by saying I was very impressed by the first scene of this first episode. We had a great fighting scene with an impressive animation, and it was very beautiful. We had a blue-haired girl fighting against a robot-like creature, and then we were able to see the main character there looking, and it felt like kind of that she was being saved by this blue girl. She was being rescued because she was in the middle of that attack. And then we get to see the main character, but before, let's talk about the opening. The opening is awesome. The song is great. I loved the song, and in the opening you can already see that you're going to be bombarded with fighting girls. You're going to be bombarded with teenage girls that are able to fight and protect and save the world. This is obviously not something groundbreaking, but it can be nice. And then we get introduced to our main character, who's called Riri. She has a very long surname, Hitotsuyanagi Riri, or something like that. It's very hard for me. And she explains her name in little detail, and obviously she says that Riri is very close to the Japanese pronunciation of Lily. And then she explains that lilies are the girls who fight against this threat that is going around the world. And so lilies are very important, and her name is very similar to the name Lily. Obviously, it wouldn't be for nothing. And she is going to her first day at this academy to learn how to be a lily, and she is carrying something. It feels like those cases that people carry musical instruments in, but obviously they're carrying something else, which are their weapons. But I just need to mention, when she is going to Yurigaoka, the academy in which she enrolled to become a lily, we get to see a lot of scenery, and the scenery was very beautiful. There were lots of hydrangeas. Are you happy, Madonna? But then she gets to this academy, and then just before she goes into the school, she meets a new character, and we meet a new character too, which had a very nice introduction because she is a princess, she's a queen, and she is the moment. She has a very hard name as well, but her name is Kaede. And Kaede is the first one to tease Lily based on her name. She says like, why are you saying that you're a lily? I already know you're here to become a lily. And then she's like, no, that's my name. And then she says, okay. So, that was a very interesting back and forth. But the most interesting thing is that Kaede is a big princess. She is there. She is feeling it. And she knows a lot about the girls. She has one girl she admires. Because when we get to the school, we see those girls, and then we see two girls teasing each other. Actually, one teasing the other. And the one that's being teased, it seems to be one of our big characters, one of our main characters. And then we get to see this back and forth between the girls, kind of there in the middle. But I forgot to talk about something very important. Thick thighs. The legs in this show are huge, and the girls have big legs. And it seems that it's like the focus of this is showing the legs, especially with the socks, pressing the legs a little. And it obviously reminded me of Atelier Ryza, or Riza, I'm not sure about the pronunciation, which is a game that had the main character with this same style of thighs, and it was super, super popular. People were crazy about it, and Lily Bouquet seems to go on the same route. Obviously, we have girls with big breasts and everything, but the focus is always there. And for a show like this, I was expecting you to have a lot more fan service It doesn't. It does have in some characters, in some moments here and there, but it has less than I was expecting. That was a very pleasant surprise. I liked it a lot. No panty shots every time. I liked it. I hope it keeps on being like this because it was very interesting this way. And so going back to the back and forth between those two girls, at that moment we get introduced to some concept of this world. We learned that the weapons the girls use are called charms, and we also learned that there's some sort of pledge called Schutzengel. And from what I understood, this sort of pledge is when you promise to fight the other one. There's like a combat. I'm not really sure because they didn't really go deep in this concept. One thing I really liked about it is how they explained it. It never really felt like they were reading, a glossary book and saying, this word means this word means this, and that's it. No, they were explaining it as things were happening on screen for us. And that is how you do an introduction. For me, that is a great way of introducing people to the world that you're trying to show. And another thing that's very important about this world is about the Whole. Whole is the name of those creatures that are destroying Earth. We don't have much to go on for now, but we know that they've been attacking for the past 50 years or something like that. And Lily, the main character, makes a very hard point right at the start of the show by saying that the Holes are the villains and the Lilies are the heroes. The Lilies are the ones that are going to save the world. When we have a very clear distinction between villain and hero in a show like this, I believe that we're gonna have lots of twists to change this up. This is nothing new, and since this isn't specifically a kids show, I think that they're gonna touch a lot on that. And since we don't know the origins of the Holes and everything, I believe that there is a lot behind what we already know. There is a lot that they are probably only going to show when the time is right, just like Clamp likes to say. But I'm very curious. I'm curious already because I believe they're not going to keep on saying Holes are the bad guys, Lilies are the good guys, and that's it. That's not going to be that simple. And so when the mission is announced, the blue-haired girl is chosen to go, and she chooses Kaede to go with her, but then Lily ends up getting in the midst of everything, and she has to go as well. When they get there, when the action starts, the two girls learn that Lily hasn't done the pledge with her charm. So there isn't this connection between her and her weapon, and so she can't use her weapon. So she needs to forge this pact with her weapon to be able to fight. It's like a blood pact that she has to do. And Yu and the blue-haired girl ends up helping her create this pact, and that scene was very nice. And the whole action scene was very interesting. And Kaede, the way Kaede also fought while the other girls were, worried about Didi's pledge and Didi's pact, it was also amazing. I am liking the fighting scenes a lot. They're very, very entertaining. But then we see that the Whole that is there, it has some certain special abilities, and it was trying to make the girls fight each other. And Didi was a key for that not to happen. And what I loved about that scene was Yu using Lily's little bow to create a weapon. She just gets a little bit piece of fabric and it becomes her weapon. I loved it. That was like, girl, you are the moment. I just loved it too. Oh my God, that was so great. And then the girls are able to defeat this Whole, but they got a little toll. It was nothing big, nothing that serious, but they ended up hurt a little bit. They had to be in quarantine for a while. But the thing that was most interesting was obviously Kaede being infatuated because Lily saved her. That was so cute. Before we wrap up, we had a moment with Yu and Didi, and Didi shared with Ruru that the moment that she saved her, that's when she decided she wanted to be a Lily too. And that was a very heartfelt moment. I thought that Yu was going to push her away and say, you shouldn't have done that. Oh my god. And she would be like an edgelord. She wasn't. She was very sweet actually to Lily. That was impressive. We usually have those like strong characters that used to act very cold towards our protagonists at the start, but in this case it didn't happen like that, and I was happy. I was very happy that I keep on saying Dudu, it's Yu treated Lily so nicely. And we also see that at that mission where Yu saved Lily 2 years ago, Yu was fighting together with a white-haired girl that is her roommate. So that girl is going to be interesting somehow too. I'm curious to see more of her. And, you know, the big Kaede infatuation towards Lily, and she was like, I don't want to even hear from you anymore. Lily is my queen. She is my lord. And oh my god, that moment was so great. And you know, Kaede seems to be a very interesting character. I cannot wait to see more of her. And I haven't talked about the secondary characters that appeared in this first episode because there are lots of them. But it seems that their personalities are easily recognizable. It seems that they're going for that. They're going for like very different hairstyles for each character. One thing I love, there's one character that has twin tails, and it seems that the twin tails are alive. I love that. And it feels like the hair is also a bit of part of their own personalities. We see that girl that talks to Lily at one point of the story. She has a very simple hairdo because she is, you know, a very simple character who doesn't seem to have anything very special about her. So that's how I feel that she's gonna be. And apart from this characterization that I found very nice, another thing that struck my attention was Yu changed her weapon between like the first mission that she saved Lily, and now she's using a different weapon. So what happened? Because they forged a pact. Why did she change? What happened in those 2 years? Tragic story incoming, because the ending of this show seems to be full of spoilers, and the ending also brought us tragic moments. Spoilers? I don't know, spoilers or predictions or like this might happen, beware of this, don't fall in love with this character because you might cry, you know, things like that. And honestly, I just cannot wait. I just cannot wait for more. Assault Lady Bouquet episode 1 was very nice and I loved it. And I want to hear from you. What did you think about this great first episode? I thought it was very nice. And would you like for me to keep on doing episode by episode review, or would you think it's better to wait for the whole season and finish it with a review, one review only? Please leave a comment. Let's talk about that. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.